Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for January, bonus reading. You have this No Place Like Home card and this To the Sea card. So some of you actually might be looking to get out of the home with that To the Sea card. You know, maybe you've been kind of like cooped up for too long and you're looking for adventure, which I think would be a good thing for you Geminis, to go on adventures. We are in a little bit of an adventurous time. And so I think, adventure is going to be rewarded. And adventure doesn't have to mean that you travel or that you actually go anywhere. You can learn something new from home. That can be an adventure. You can take a class or something like that wherever you are, and that can be an adventure. So there's a million types of adventures that you could be going on. But I do think that adventure would be very, very good for you, or, kind of like breaking up the monotony of life and doing something different. You start here in your current general energies, or we're doing a Celtic cross, so this is how you enter into the reading at the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction. Seven of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze? He's looking at these Seven Pentacles, wondering if what he is working on is worth it or not. And he might be looking to make a change, or he might be looking to do something different with his life. And so I think that if you are looking for a change, this could be you making a change, or you could also be deciding that some things in life that you're doing aren't worth it and maybe other things are. You have the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles can represent wealth or building wealth. The King of Pentacles is your crossing energy, and the crossing energy in a Celtic cross can be what hurts you or helps you in the Celtic cross. So the King of Pentacles has these grapes all over his cloak, and the grapes in the tarot represent something that is very difficult to grow, but he can do it well. And so the grapes kind of say that he has a skill that can make him very successful, or he has a skill that he can use to get what he wants, but he just has to use a skill. So I feel here, Gemini, that there could be some skills that you have, and either you need to use them in a different way, or you just need to use them in general, because those skills could make you more successful. This could also say that you are wanting to make a change, but you are lacking the resources to make that change, and we'll definitely look into that and see what comes up. Next, in the area of your thoughts, you have the Judgment card. So this is the area of what's on your mind, basically, in the Celtic cross. And the Judgment card, this is your higher self angel, and he is calling these people up out of these coffins. So, again, this is definitely a major change reading where you are thinking about making a change. Seven of Pentacles, Judgment, for sure. Judgment is about answering your calling, or, kind of like stepping into your true purpose in life. And so I think a lot of you are being called to do something new. And clearly this is something you're thinking about because it's showing up in the area of what's on your mind. And so I would answer the call. Like if you are feeling pulled in a new direction, I would take the leap of faith. You end with the Fool as your outcome card, and the Fool is all about taking leap of faith. But with the Judgment card, the coffin represents our old life. Outside the coffin is our new life. So we have to take that leap of faith, into our new life to get the benefits of the Judgment energy. You have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords can be lying, cheating, stealing, but the Seven of Swords is showing up in your foundation. And the Seven of Swords really is a good card. Golden cards in the tarot are meant to be positive no matter what. He's stealing these swords from this army in the background. I think it's an amazing time for Geminis to use their Gemini superpower of being able to look at things from multiple different angles and being able to come up with unique solutions or different ways of doing things. Again, he has just found a unique solution to his problem. He is stealing those swords from the army so that they can't be used against him in battle the next day. So he is going to war without hurting anyone. He is going to war by doing something in a different way. And the other thing about the Seven of Swords is he has these polka dots on his cloak. Polka dots in the tarot can come up when we are taking things too seriously. And, basically the Seven of Swords says that we need to not take things too seriously. Again, I always say, for 4.5 years of my life, I was stuck in my room. I wasn't basically doing nothing with my life. And, during that time, there are so many things that I was worried about during that time, and all I did was worry, and none of those things matter anymore. None of those things that I was worried about actually mattered. And by worrying, I was holding myself back because I was just worried about every little thing that was going on at the time, right? But none of it mattered a year later, basically. So, again, sometimes with the Seven of Swords, I think we need to ask ourselves, is this thing I'm worrying about, is it really going to matter in a few years' time or even less? Or, am I making a bigger deal out of things than I need to. And again, I can't answer that question. Maybe, sometimes we do have real problems that do matter. So you have to answer that question, but, definitely something I would think about with that card. Next, in the area of the past, this is the energy that you are moving past. You have this time is up card. It says no second chances, no revisiting. There's something better waiting. Yes, there's clearly something better coming in for you in your outcome row. You have this exchange of gifts card. It says there's a dance of give and take that you there's a dance of give and take. What you give, you will get back. So a lot of you have been either practicing give and take. I actually feel with the Two of Swords also showing up in the past, that maybe you've been giving to things that haven't been returning the energy to you. She is kind of trying to protect her heart on this card, and she feels like she only has two options, but really she has a new option behind her. And the good news is that this is coming up in the past. So I think a lot of you could be discovering your options, or you could be seeing that there is another way that you can do things in your life, and this could really be setting you free. Next, in the area of the very near future, you have the Strength card and this Transition card. Yeah, the Strength card here, you can see there's this boat on this like choppy ocean with these big waves. And so I think that whatever you're about to do is going to require strength, or whatever you're probably doing this right now, because this position in the reading represents your very near future, or like basically what you're doing right now. And, it looks to me like you're going through a transition phase, or, kind of like a change phase with the Seven of Pentacles and the Judgment card. And, I think this is just saying, really, I don't have any good advice, Gemini, because I feel like you're just going through it. You're just going through the changes, right? That's it. You have the Four of Cups, also in the very near future. I think a lot of people right now are just too used to being disappointed. We have, the energy since like 2008 has been major disappointments. It's like, I think anyone who's tried to do anything has experienced like, putting in the work and just not getting enough of a result, or, getting less of a result than you deserve. So, we are used to disappointments. And the problem with that is whenever we try to do something new now, we could just be telling ourselves, well, I'm just going to be disappointed. This just isn't going to go anywhere. So why even bother? So then we don't put in the effort. The trick with the Four of Cups is that you need to realize that you have the ingredients right here, those 3 cups, to be successful with this new cup. Those 3 cups represent 3 disappointments, but from each one of those cups, he has learned something different or new, or he's learned a lesson that will help him with this one right here. I always say that the 4 cups is like trying to bake a cake. It's like he's manifested the flour, the sugar, the eggs, but now, he's mad or upset because he didn't manifest a cake. But really, if he just put all those cups together and popped it in the oven, he would have his cake. So, it's kind of like you have everything you need to be successful, but now you just have to mix all the skills, all the lessons that you've learned together so that you can truly be successful. Next, in the area of your outcome row, you have this wasp spirit. It says, sometimes life stings. You have this dog spirit. It says, be loyal to what you love. And so, yeah, I mean, like I said, I think there's no doubt about it. You've experienced disappointments or things not working out. We are in a heart-based time, so I definitely feel we need to be loyal to our heart, and as long as we are following our heart, we will be very successful. In the area of the next few months, you have the Nine of Cups, which is amazing. Nine of Cups is like total fulfillment. It can represent wish fulfillment as well. So I think a lot of you could be getting into this energy of fulfillment. In some ways, I feel that over the next few months, you're just feeling better. And sometimes I think when we just feel better, we do better. And, I don't really feel this is something like all that amazing, but it's also good. I think this is something where you're just feeling, your energy feels better to me. So because you're feeling better, you're doing better. And again, that can create a positive snowball. So I always tell people this because, again, we should be working with the energy that we see here on the table. And so if I were you, I would be doubling down on the good stuff. As I always say, like, create that positive momentum. So if something good happens, like, how can you expand it? How can you celebrate it? How can you get more out of the good things that are happening to you? I always say double down on your successes. And, I think the easiest way to do that is to express gratitude for whatever successes you're having. And you're kind of like doing like one extra step for the whatever the success is by being grateful for it, or just saying literally out loud, I'm grateful for this, right? And so I think doing that can be a great way to double down on success. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the Six of Swords. This is all relationships in your life. And I believe that pretty much for everyone, that all signs, everyone as a collective is experiencing changes in their connections. And again, this is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. I think people are really kind of focusing on more quality connections, or are putting more time into connections that are of quality. And so I think that's what you're doing with the Six of Swords. You're just focused on quality connections, more or less. I also feel that you are kind of like moving in a direction. This woman and the child in the boat and the Six of Swords, they are going to the calmer shores. So in a lot of ways, I kind of feel like this is saying that you have a set direction that you're moving in life. If people want to go with you, great. If they don't, great. And I think you're just saying, I don't need people to move in this direction with me, but if they do, great. So I think it just feels like a more focused, directional energy to me. And I think you're very focused on the direction of your life, which again is definitely a good thing. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Seven of Wands. I kind of feel that you do feel like you are not ready for things. The Seven of Wands, he has a shoe and a boot on, or two different shoes on. The story of the Seven of Wands is that he had to rush out of his home, and he didn't feel like he was ready to accomplish something, or he didn't feel like he was ready to go defend his position at the top of the hill. But the point of the Seven of Wands is he's kind of like as ready as he's going to be. Like, there is no more really preparation that he could have done. And even though he doesn't feel ready, we never feel ready for anything in life. So again, if you feel like you're not ready, you probably are more ready than you realize. So, again, sometimes I feel the Seven of Wands says that, like, don't hold yourself back. Even if you feel like you're not ready, you are. Your outcome is the Fool. So definitely taking a leap of faith in a new direction. I will say this year, 2025, I'm talking about, if you're watching this early, it seems to me it's a year where people are much more focused on new beginnings. Like, every year that I do these readings for the beginning of the next year, or like in January, I'll get a ton of aces. Like this set of readings, I got a ton of aces for pretty much everyone except for you, apparently. But we haven't clarified yet, so that might change. The Fool comes up a lot. It makes sense because it's a new year. People are starting new things, right? So it makes sense. But, this year, it just seems like a little bit extra. It just seems like maybe people there's like a little bit more of a serious energy behind people's, New Year's resolutions. So it might be a good year for you to set resolutions that you stick to. And that's definitely what I would do with the Fool. For sure. Here, Gemini. But let's see. We're going to clarify this, and we're going to see what comes up. That didn't work at all. So let's try that again. Let's give this another shuffle here, Gemini, and we're going to clarify through this reading. So let's see. With the Seven of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, you have the King of Wands. Much more determined energy. Again, I was kind of getting this on that Six of Swords. What I meant by direction is like you are picking a path, you're sticking to it, you're making things happen. And again, I get a much more determined vibe off of this King of Wands. So the King of Wands is very courageous, bold, assertive. He really goes for what he wants. And again, I would nurture that energy. Again, I believe, no one is just like motivated. We have to do things to make ourselves motivated. So I would really nurture this feeling of the King of Wands because it'll probably motivate you more. With the Judgment card, you have the Hangman. It's like you're ready to move forward, like I said. The whole point of the Hangman is that he has put himself in hangman mode. He sacrificed the use of his arms and his legs so that he can gain enlightenment, but now he has enlightenment and he just needs to move forward. So, it's kind of like saying to me that you have the answers, or like I said on the Seven of Wands here, I feel like you are much more prepared or ready for action than you think. So, I would get moving towards whatever it is that you're thinking about creating. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is a change in your fortunes. A lot of people have been getting this energy of changing their fortunes. I think we just have more control over our destiny now. And so with the Wheel of Fortune, there are a million ways that we can control the wheel. Number one, I always say that we want to live at the center of the wheel. There are actually several wheels on the Wheel of Fortune. When we live in the middle, we are upright. When we, and again, I don't have a regular Wheel of Fortune, but when we live in the middle, we are kind of like straight up and down, and we can see all the cycles that are coming at us, good and bad. And so we can double down on the good stuff, and we can take care of the challenges right away. And if we do that, then we are living, positively inside the wheel. We can be much more successful. With the Two of Swords, you have the Hermit. Some of you could be coming out of hermit mode for sure. I mean, you have the judgment card. Judgment, those people have been inside their coffins and now they're coming outside of their coffins. And so they're kind of like stepping into the real world. The hermit is about having gone through a dark night of the soul, and now the hermit is standing at the top of his mountain and he's shining his inner light. So it could be a good time for you to shine your inner light, basically. With the Four of Cups, you have the Emperor. I think I said something about taking control in this reading. And, again, the Emperor, I think, is you taking control of opportunities. There is an opportunity. This fourth cup right here kind of represents an opportunity for him, but he's not accepting it because he's been disappointed. So the Emperor would say, be ready for an opportunity that's coming your way. The Emperor normally has his armor on underneath his cloak, and it just represents the fact that he is ready to go at a moment's notice. So I think for a lot of you, this is saying you need to be ready to go at a moment's notice because you will be successful. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords can represent lying, cheating, stealing, again, but you have the Seven of Swords twice. I think that the Seven of Swords really is saying you need to use your Gemini creativity or your Gemini way of doing things to be successful. I have found that, I think Geminis come up with very unique solutions. And, the Seven of Swords is definitely about coming up with a unique solution to whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. And, that would be my focus if I were you with that Seven of Swords twice. You also have the Nine of Cups here, the Wheel of Fortune here. Sometimes I'm going to show you this version just because it's easier to see. But, sometimes I feel with the Seven of Swords, we have to do something delicately. He is carrying those swords by their tips. So he has to be very careful with how he, completes this project or how he does what he's doing. And so I always think the Seven of Swords it's like a good idea to keep things to yourself. Like, if you're finding success, if you're building something like a business or career, whatever you're doing, it might be a good time to just, play your cards close to your chest, so to speak. Because again, he has to establish himself first before he tells people what he's doing. And, having the Seven of Swords twice, I would definitely say it would be a good time to make sure that you're establishing yourself first before you say anything. With the Six of Swords, you have the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is about following your heart. And, it's coming up in the area of your closest relationships. Really good card to have in the area of your closest relationships. It can basically say that you are following your heart with people, or you are listening to that inner voice with people, which is good. It could also say that you're finding much more fulfillment with the people that you're connecting with. Because again, the Queen of Cups, she really focuses on heart-based connections. And again, this could be love or otherwise could be anything. There's a little bit of love here. You could have a fire sign coming in for you, or it could be a person with fire in their chart, specifically Aries because of the Emperor. But is it really a love reading? I would say no. I think this reading is more about the direction you're moving in. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Six of Cups. Sometimes I feel the Six of Cups is a gift from the universe. And usually the gift we receive with this card is overcoming an obstacle. So a lot of you could be overcoming some sort of obstacle at this time. You could also just be finding, forward movement. It's also a card of being more playful as well. It's a card of your inner child or childlike energy. And definitely with the Seven of Swords twice. Again, the Seven of Swords has those polka dots on his cloak. The polka dots say you're taking things too seriously. You need to be more playful. So I definitely feel that, playful energy would be a good idea. It's also a good card for love. There could definitely be a soulmate coming in for some of you. With the Fool, you have the Four of Wands, marriage. So there you go. If you want love, definitely could be marriage potential with a person. But, again, like I said, is it really love reading? Probably not. I think the Four of Wands is really a card of freedom. Usually with the Four of Wands, we have to complete one stage of our life, and it's really a finish line card. We have to cross through a finish line and get to the other side so that we can celebrate. There are normally people celebrating on the other side of the Four of Wands. So really it's a card of completion, celebration, and freedom, and we have to set ourselves free from something. So again, if you're you might be wrapping up a project, you might be, wrapping up a certain stage of your life. And, the whole entire reading basically says that with the Seven of Pentacles coming up in your first position here. It's saying that you are looking for a change. You are hoping to make a change, probably one that will set you free. So that looks really good. You have this hand card. It says, in need of help, assistance, or guidance. Yes, if you need help with anything, it's definitely a good time to ask. So, it could be a good time to ask for help. You have this elephant. It says a long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. I mean, I think your life has been a long journey up into this point. So, I think you've gained a lot of knowledge and wisdom. I think you really need to trust your skills with the Seven of Swords. Again, it's like if you have an idea that no one has ever thought of before, which Geminis usually do, like an idea on how to accomplish something with that Seven of Swords, I would try it because, again, you probably know more than you actually realize. And, I would try your ideas. You have this teapot. It says deep friendship with someone of the same sex. It's very, the readings have been very social, so I think it's a great time to, develop friendships, find new friends, all that other good stuff. You have this shield card that says you need to defend yourself. Seven of Wands, Emperor. These are both cards of putting up your shield or defending yourself. One thing I will say, Gemini, is that, if you are defending yourself from anything, I would do it by putting up boundaries. We have Mars retrograde. If you defend yourself by arguing with a person or picking a fight with a person, you will lose. So I think just putting up healthy boundaries or avoiding conflict is really what this is talking about. You have this crib card. It says birth or conception of a child or an enterprise. And so there is definitely some sort of birth going on here, with the Judgment card being a card of rebirth. So I think a lot of you could be birthing something new in your life, and it's going to be very good for you. But this looks really good, Gemini. I love it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.